You- I need to move my- There we
What's
go.
going
What's
on,
going on?
everybody?
What's going on? Hey, it's your boy Troy,
This is your boy Sean.
and we back tapped in again.
We tapped in. We tapped in.
And
Hold on for a second, guys.
there we go. There we go. All right,
There we
we
go.
back.
All right, hey, we gotta make sure my man top of his head wasn't chopped off. But now we back, man. We back tapped in. So we appreciate y'all as always for tuning in. Like the commentary as always. Like, comment, share. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
the whole nine,
the,
all
the
of
whole
them, man.
the whole nine. And again, throw some comments in there so we know if you like the convo, if it's something that you want us to touch on. Hey, that's what we're here for. We just want to have dialogue with you guys.
No doubt, man. So, how was
Sure.
your week, man? That's fun.
Man, week is good, man. It's flown by.
That's the setup.
It's flown by, man. I mean, it's Thursday already, and it's like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
time to almost do it all over again.
That's it. That's it. Man,
Yeah.
something just dropped in my mind, man. Since you
Uh-huh.
say flowing by, boy.
What?
I'm watching something this week, man. Man, it was a basketball player too. I don't know if you've seen the story.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre, yeah, man. Listen, he flew the young lady out. I think they went out, man. They was out the country. I don't know.
Turks.
Turks, yeah. Took out the Turks, man, and she ain't cooperate. She had like she didn't know the assignment, and man, she was left there.
Hey, what do you think?
Man, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I was reading the comments, and most men and women, their general consensus was if you get flew out of the country, then it's an expectation, or you should assume that you have to, put up.
Okay.
Like, cause that man could have took you to the coffee shop, he could have kept you home and took you to the room. He flew you out.
Mhm.
Sure, it was probably all expense paid.
Mhm.
I mean, we're adults,
Right.
and especially if they got one room.
Mhm.
If he booked two different rooms,
Mhm.
and she said, "Oh, I want my own room from the gate,"
Right.
that's different.
Right.
Now, because they booked one room, I think that it's a fair expectation.
Okay.
So, and I do want to say this too, because while I was reading the comments, they were saying you should assume. I mean, you should assume that if somebody's flying you out, that they're gonna fly you back home. Yeah, and I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
about
how about all of that? I don't know about all
that.
that. So, for real, sometimes you got to know what. I mean, sometimes you go fishing and you go fishing in the pond,
Yeah,
right?
right?
Sometimes you go fishing in the river. You know what I mean? Sometimes you go fishing in the ocean. You know, when you fishing on the different spots, you expect for the fish to be different sizes. You know what I
Right.
mean? The fish in the pond ain't gonna get as big as the fish in the river, as big as the fish in the ocean, right?
Uh huh.
She fishing in the ocean,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that means it costs more to go fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you get caught,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a price.
it's a price. But on a real is it's more of, so I look at the whole scenario as if that was my daughter, right?
Right.
All right. So because that's how it came about. Like, oh, he left her there. So the one thing I would be like, if you don't know this man, don't fly out of the country with him.
Right. Yeah. 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 That's a huge
Right.
step anyway. Yeah.
Right. And so now I don't know the backstory, but how well did she know him?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And based off of his reaction, how well did he know her?
Yeah.
Because if you had any kind of feelings for her, or y'all had been talking for a while,
Uh huh.
and establishing some type of relationship, even if y'all just cool and been cool and hanging out, and you go out there, maybe you didn't have that conversation about, hey, we're going a long ways, and I'm only getting one room. Even if you didn't have that conversation, it's like, and you get out there and nothing happens. When you do have some kind of relationship, it's gonna be hard for you to be like, I'm out. You find your way home.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
So that make me feel like he ain't really know her like that.
Now, and I think that it was a conversation had. It may not have been a direct, hey, am I gonna, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was a lot of innuendos, a lot of
Right.
slick talk going on for him to even say, okay, I'm gonna take her out here. Like, yeah, he set the trap. I mean, pretty much you threw something out there and she bid on it. And
Right.
she played along.
Right.
To get out there because there's
Now
no
you
way.
got caught. Now what you
Yeah. She played along with it. You know what I mean? Because even though he might not have said it directly, he made his intentions known in some way. I'm sure it's text like, yeah, we about this, da da da.
Right.
You know, yeah. I don't think he just got out there and pulled it out of the head and said, hey, you know what I mean? Nah.
So I think this is a learning experience for young women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going somewhere, you're going out of the country, even if it's an invite, you should always make sure you got enough money to get back home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Before you say yes, I don't care how elaborate it is, how far, whatever continent you're going to, you know, if something go down and you need to get back to the States, you should have enough emergency cash to be able to book you a flight to get back. Now, it might not be a one way, you know what I mean? You might have seven layovers. You know what I mean? But
you can get home.
You can get home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not only do you get home, but you need to have some money, you know what I mean, buy yourself some food or whatever. In most cases, you got loved ones and stuff at home. But that's a setup. You know what I mean? As a woman, you know, I don't want any of my daughters to be on a trip stranded and they can't fend and they can't take care of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I've done something wrong if you're making decisions like that. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, well, if you have been kicking it with somebody, I can't even say that, man, with a good conscience, because honestly, you know what I mean, like from a I can see where a man is looking at it, but when I'm thinking about my daughters, if they don't want to, they don't want to.
Man, we're gonna talk, and we're always gonna say the politically correct thing,
Right.
You know what I mean? But we know society, we know we're men, and we know how men think.
Right.
That's a huge gesture. You know, to take somebody out. That's not like, hey man, let's go across state lines. Go to a concert. I'm flying you out. We gonna enjoy, and a part of that is we're adults. I mean, unless something transpire that says, okay, man, we're not getting along, or maybe you got sick, you ate something, you can't. Okay, that's cool. But just to like, nah, we done had a ball, let's spend all your dough. No, we're not doing it. Like you said, I have a daughter.
Right.
Me as a father would talk to my daughter before she went out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Knowingly that, hey, this man is expecting X, Y, and Z.
Now, okay. So let's shift this dynamic a little bit, because I don't think a man's entitled to feel that way. Like, that's an entitlement, because it very well could have been, yo, let's go to Turks. And she like, all right, bet. I'll buy my ticket, you buy yours, we get our rooms, we can chill. Right? That's a whole, like, your mind frame, or his mind frame as a man in most cases is gonna be like, this might not shake down the way I want it to. Right? Because the tone has been set.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, and just because you putting all of the money out, it's like, if you can do that, and I get it. I mean, guys, it's like they A1s, and they, you know what I mean, they figure they got all of the money, and you know what I mean, all of those things. It's like, if you in that still don't make it right. But
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if that's what you're doing, you should at least be having the conversation before y'all take off.
That's the main thing. And I would say that to young men or just men in general. Be upfront with your intentions. You know what I mean? Set the tone. And same with the female though, because if you allow me to book one room, that's the only thing I have a
Right. That's
problem with.
yeah.
That's almost like that's co-signing. That's like
Yeah.
okay, I'm in agreement.
Right.
And again, nobody should be forced to do anything they don't want to do or feel obligated to. But as adults, sometimes it's okay to say nah because I haven't known you that long.
Right.
And you know if you, I'm not gonna say earned a trip, but think about it. We haven't built a relationship like that.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable taking something from strangers.
And there's so many layers to that, man. It's so many layers to this one conversation. Because as you was talking, I'm thinking, you know, this could be, I don't know what the girl looked like, but an attractive girl who has never been out of the country before, or maybe has been out of the country but never been to Turks and Caicos.
Yeah.
And like, you know, man, he offering, and it's and in a sense it could be, you know, okay, if I, as a woman's point of view, she might like him. She might be, you know, feeling the vibes and stuff like that, and might be like, if I don't take this trip, then he might not fool with me,
Yeah.
right? Because of, you know, where he's mentally at,
Right.
right? Or like if I take this trip, I might have to do something that I really ain't ready to do yet.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? And so it's just like, okay, that's where being an adult matters. It's like, yo, you got to have that conversation at, you know, as a man, hey, look, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we at this place now. You know, I'm feeling you. We get, you know, I don't mind taking you on with me, but you know, it's you know, there is an expectation that comes with it. If I'm, and again, if you're having a conversation, is if you can, because it's like if she's standing up, she's like, no, we can, you know what I mean? I ain't ready for that. But if you want to go to Turks and Caicos, I'll book my flight. I'll pay for my ticket. I'll pay for my room. We can be on the same flight, hang out. But you know what I mean? Like if it happened like that, it
Yeah.
happened.
Right.
But it's not gonna be like I'm gonna be in the room
Yeah.
and like I'm feel like I'm peer pressured that like it's gotta happen.
Right. And then like at his status, I mean that trip we talk like it's huge. To
Nothing.
him, it's nothing. It was nothing to him. So he could have really took that on the chin,
Right.
and kept it moving. It could be a pride thing too.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I thought you was into me. You know what I mean? I thought you was feeling me.
Right.
And now, yeah. So
Now you feeling yourself.
yeah,
You know. But no, man, that's interesting because we could talk about it from a couple of different angles.
Mhm.
But it's all, you know, it's always, you know, got a son, but I also have 3 daughters. You know, so
Yeah.
like I'm always looking at, yo, how would I guide and how would I lead my daughters in that type of circumstance, and and be comfortable enough that even if it's a guy that's got money or whatever, that don't quantify your value, right? So it's just like even if y'all vibing or whatever, and you like them, but this particular gesture doesn't make you feel good, you don't do it.
Right.
And if if he don't like that and he roll out, he won't want you for the right reason anyway.
And that's important about being a present dad when you have daughters. And I think we talked about this before. Because if she was a nice looking young lady who has never had a man do something like that for before, never been out, then that kind of fall back on parenting, on being a father, because you want to do those things for your daughters.
Right.
So that way when the joker do come along, it's not like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So that's why I like to do nice stuff for my daughter, make her feel like the center of attention,
Right.
take her to nice places. So any joker that just come along can entice her with things anyway.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I think it's important for a dad to show that type of interest in his daughter first.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
'Cause that sets the tone for her value and her self-worth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have to take this trip to know that I'm good enough. Right? I'm gonna tell you no. If that don't work for you,
Hey, so
deuces.
right.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's
it.
somebody else. And
Yeah.
and it would surprise women, I'm saying grown women, who then been in relationships, they they would even be surprised if they took that approach to somebody who they was actually really liking, how that man would actually respond to it.
But make
If
him
he
work
really
harder.
into him.
Make him work a
If
whole
he,
lot harder, man,
yeah,
because he didn't get rid of the gimmicks. Because if he can't get you with the bait and the gimmicks, now he got to knuckle buckle down and be real.
yeah, now it's got to be him, who he is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Not like
that's
what he can do, but like how do we make you feel? How do we treat you? What's
mm,
the conversation like? You know what I mean?
right,
Now we down to the meat and potatoes of if this really gonna work.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Not you flying me out and then you know what I mean? Get the clapping and then you out.
Then you out. And think about it, man. I mean, really, it's protecting both of you when you really put that energy in to really get to know somebody. I mean, look at Uncle Shay Shay now, man. I mean, I don't like to talk about a lot of what's going on, but let's think about it, man. One decision,
Maybe two.
maybe two bad, yeah, maybe two bad decisions. But I mean, I'm granted he's all right, but man, I mean, he's a public.
Right.
You've been ridiculed in the public, man. You out there, and what did you gain from it?
Right.
Clap some cheeks.
That's it, man. That's it. Sometimes you just want to applause them.
Yes. It's sometimes just what up, close. I like that. Yeah, but for real, I mean, but is it worth it in the end? You know what I mean? It's like, yo, she hooked on and sinker, man. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy. But switching gears, man. You know, we always talking about things that we plan like that we working on or that we planning to do. But you know, as a community, like trying to work and get our young people and even ourselves in a position of influence to be able to be at the decision table, to be able to change maybe some of the things culturally that we don't like, right?
Uh huh.
In a system that we had to figure out that was built around us, but not for us,
Hmm.
right? And all of the inner workings of it was never taught to us. We had to try to work our way in and figure things out, and hopefully there was somebody there that cared enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna give you some guidance and some game.
Hmm.
And it's just like, why does it feel like in our community when we want to make a big change or a big difference that we always gotta announce to the masses instead of just organizing as a collective, being strategic,
Mm.
doing the work, and then let people see what happens.
Back to that applause, man. It's back to the applause. A lot of people love to have their name up in lights. And you know, the idea always sound good, but the work
Right,
doesn't, it's not as appealing.
right,
And most of the work has to be done behind the scenes.
right,
So it's easier to say, hey, I'm doing this, and people praise you for that. And lots of times what happens is you fall short on the work because you're too busy talking about what it is I'm going to do. Now, is it ever a time to discuss it? Yeah, because people need people. And sometimes because we don't have the resources, because we don't have we're not in the circles that can get us close to, the things we're trying to do. Sometimes we have to be vocal in the things that we're trying to do. But I think it's important where you're vocal at.
right. And so the thing I'm thinking there's an event coming up. There's gonna be a lot of people there, right? If you want change, you need a lot of people who are on the same accord, like-minded, pushing towards a common goal,
Right.
right?
Uh huh.
And at sometimes it don't need to be televised,
Right.
right? When you have a setting and you have that many people, what's wrong with saying, look, hey, everybody shut everything down. Turn your phone off. No recording, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a real conversation right now. Like this is what we're trying to accomplish. This is what we're trying to do.
Right.
When you leave out of here, you know what we're trying to do.
Right.
And now we just start doing the work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we're working together and then it's like everybody's going in different areas, and maybe you had these little groups in different regions and things like
Hmm.
that meet up, and it's just like, okay, hey, we still working, we still grinding, but we not on a, what I mean, because
Right.
that's not the way it was done to us.
Exactly. They built it, and then we had to search and find the information.
Right.
So why do we just so freely
Give it
give
out.
it up? And lots of
And then
times,
expect, and then be like, oh yeah, they're gonna just let us do
yeah,
X,
because
Y,
now
and Z.
you welcome in opposition, you welcome in opinions,
Right.
and sometimes it's people that are in position that don't have a vision, and you're actually giving them a vision, and they say, oh, they got the money, they got the resources, but they didn't have that vision, and because you
Put it out.
announced it too quick, now they're gonna take it and run with it, and you watching somebody else do something that you originally,
Wanted to
planned.
do.
Yeah, yeah. So
And I mean, it's the same thing in, like in personal lives as well. It's like I never understood why when people are working on something, or they got a vision, they got a dream that they working towards. It's just like you just tell everybody. It's like the dream was for you, the vision was for you.
hmm
What I mean? You can start doing the work. Now, obviously, you do need people to help you, but everybody you tell ain't there to help you either.
right,
You
right.
know, and every what I mean, and sometimes you telling that will cause people to say things that will discourage you from going in the direction that was
Oh
given
yeah,
to you.
oh yeah. Kill the dream before you even start walking in that. And well, a lot of times when God gives you something, it's for you specifically,
Right.
and
There
He's
wasn't
gonna
nobody else in that room when you got it.
exactly, and He's gonna create a set of circumstances to direct you into that. But when you start talking to other people, then it can create that doubt. Like, ah, man, I tried this 5 years ago, and it didn't work. Or man, you got to live here in order for this to work, and just telling you all the reasons why it's not going to work when God already told you this is it.
This is it. This is it. And
And
so,
I think a lot of people struggle with that. You know what I
right.
mean? And I think it's like taking small steps. Like when you start to do listening, and you reach one goal, then okay, your faith is increased. Then you want to do a little bit more. You want to do a little bit more. But I think it has to be a learned process,
Right.
because I mean, a lot of people are scared of failure, and then a lot of people are scared of losing out financially.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean,
But there's a thin line to that, because there are people that are your cheerleaders and that are in your corner that will you know help support you and rally around you, and those people you can share your
yeah.
dream with. It might not be every intricate part of it, but it's like, hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do
Hmm.
and trying to build over the next couple of years.
Right.
What I mean, and just by them knowing that, they may in their passings may come across some knowledge, come across, have a conversation with somebody that triggers what you said you was trying to do, and they be
Right.
like, yo, I talked to this guy, he might be able to help you, or this woman, they might be able to help you. So I think it takes discernment to be able to know who to share it with, but just understand that the dream and the vision isn't for everybody.
It's not for everybody. That's it.
I mean, it certainly is not for everybody. And then that kind of goes into how people come into your life.
Hmm.
And I don't even know. It wasn't an article or anything. Nah, actually, I think I was reading the Bible,
Uh huh.
and it was just like, how do people come in and out of your life? Like the people that you are around, or the people that's the closest to you, not family.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just other people. Did they come into your life by giving to you, or did they come into your life trying to take?
Mm. You know what? That's something that I can't honestly say I ever sat back and honestly like thought about. And just thinking about most of my close relationships, because a lot of times the people that I'm closest with, I think some of them I even seeked out myself. You know what I mean? Maybe because lots of times I'll see somebody doing something maybe that I'm aspiring to do, or I like, what they have going on, and
Hmm.
might just strike up a conversation, and just through being like-minded, you know what I mean? You start
Hmm.
talking to somebody and say, okay, and I don't really think there's, well, it is giving them, giving me something, giving me maybe some knowledge, but maybe me giving them some encouragement, and then we start, building a relationship. So but I can't honestly say that.
But typically in those type of relationships, that flow, it's a flow to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's giving and
It's
taking.
giving and taking, right? It could have been, what could have, you know, uh, I don't even trying to think how we met. I think it was the store.
It was the store originally, but when I wanted to get my real estate license,
Yeah, I was just in the parking
you
lot.
was just in the parking lot. And
Right,
like that's that one a prime example.
right.
I pulled up on you. I said, "Hey, man, I see you going in the office every day. I know you've been doing real estate. I'm interested." And you said, "Hey, call me." You gave me the information and said, "Call me." So
Right, yeah, it was a give
I'm
and
a
a take.
taker, man.
Nah, man, it was a give
Oh
and
man,
it
I'm
was
a
a give-
taker.
nah. It was a mutual exchange because I wanted to give you the information, right?
Right.
You came to me looking for guidance and
Mhm.
and how do I do this? And hey, I'm freely gonna give you that
Yeah,
information
yeah.
because I want to see you be better, And then from there is and I guess the thing about that is what does that relationship? I don't think it matters how the people come into your life. It's how does that relationship revolve?
And
It evolves
reciprocates.
over time.
Right.
Is this person constantly taking? You know what I mean? And I don't think, I'm being drained, rather emotionally or
Mhm.
resource wise, or it's like that's not a balanced relationship at
It's
that point in time.
it's not. It's
And
not.
and at what point is it like, okay, this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
This relationship isn't working for me.
Yeah, and you have to be honest with those type of relationships, man. First thing came to my mind, I had a real close friend, man. I mean, it still is a good friend, but life got derailed and spent a lot of time incarcerated. In the first few years, man, I would pay. Look, you need money on your books, I got you. You need me to visit, I got you. My kids started getting old. I'm saying, man, every dime I need, I mean, every dime come to my house, I need it. I got kids. I can't be giving you money and over, the phone calls, they would collect calls back then. You had to pay for them, and and after a while, I started looking. He went back the next time, and I said, "Hey, bro, I love you. You my guy and all, but I can't do this no more. But you know what I mean? This is decisions you're making, and financially, I can't support you. You know what I mean? Because this is a one-way relationship,
Right, right.
and you got to be able to identify them too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that don't mean you lose love for the person.
Yeah, no, it's just you gotta have healthy boundaries to be able to even like to be able to keep the relationship.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
to be able to and have honest conversations
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Right. That's the key.
You know,
The honest conversation. That this is not
and sometimes those conversations aren't easy, man.
that there.
Most of the time they aren't, and that's where the dissension and stuff can kind of start to set in is because one person has all of the feelings
Yeah.
and the other person don't understand what's going on. Like why you know what I mean, what's wrong? You
Hmm.
know, what's happening. And a lot of times it's not something that an action per se, one thing that has
Hmm.
happened that makes you feel that way. It's over time,
Right.
to where it's like, okay, well, we need to have this conversation. I mean, let's air this out.
Yeah. And taking all the time, it doesn't have to be like material things or money. Sometimes it gets to be taking your time or even your peace. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like sometimes you can have people around you, like they call them Debbie Downers, man. Just all the time. Like we all live fast-paced lives, man. We got families. Like every time you call me, I don't need for it to be a one-way conversation where you just
Dumping
dumping
on
everything on
dumping
me.
your
Like,
trash. We don't talk right here, man. I'm leaving here feeling stink.
yeah, I'm feeling bad. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah,
Right.
you gotta have enough respect for me and
Right.
say, look, man, this man probably has a hard day. I'm not even gonna dump that on him, man.
Right.
Just
Right.
yeah. So even with that, man,
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
yeah. So man, I was looking at something the other day. I did kind of want to switch lanes, man, but talking about giving and taking, man. So as a man with a family,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, with a man, family, we're called to be providers. We know to be providers, and we know hard times happen. But do you feel like if a man falls on hard times with his family, do you feel like the parents, the wife's parents, or your parents, are obligated to take in the whole family, or should they take in the whole family if you're fully functioning, capable adult male?
It's a good question, man.
Do you?
Because I'm trying to flush it through in my head, man. Because it depends.
Hmm.
It depends, and you can go about it a couple of different ways.
Hmm.
You know, if it's golly. So I'm trying to think of it from my family perspective.
Hmm.
It'll be much easier for me to take in my daughters and their kids,
Uh huh.
right? Then I can't say it'd be much easier because the conversation would be the same. I think the parameters would be a little bit different,
Yeah.
right? You know, because if my daughters are in a position where the husband's the breadwinner and things went bad and let's say like with me when the real estate market crashed, it
Uh huh.
got bad. Like a lot of things could have happened at that point in
Right.
time, and I was a breadwinner, and it wasn't anything that I did, right? But if you're gonna come to me, my daughters or my son, and we're gonna have this conversation, I need to know what the plan is.
Right. Right.
What's the plan? Because
Mm.
this ain't an open invitation.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It ain't like, oh, we lost, we fell on a hard time, we need to move in with you. For how long?
Right. I know. Yeah.
Where you working?
Hmm.
Where he working at?
Right.
Right? And what's the goal? All right. So if you move in with me, I'm not gonna charge you no rent. So how much money are y'all gonna be able to save up? What's
Right.
the rental market like? How much you need for a
Okay.
first
That's
month's
fair.
rent down
That's
payment,
fair.
right? Like we gonna have that conversation. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, if we got a plan, we before I say yes, we got a timeline,
Uh huh.
right? And I'm expecting for you to meet this timeline.
Right.
And if not, then we're gonna have to get you some services.
But how do you feel? So how would you feel toward the person that say, "Hey, you know what? The woman and the kids can come, but you gotta fend for yourself." Do you feel like that's abandoning the family or busting up the family structure? Do you feel like that's uncalled for? If somebody would have feel, what I mean, be in that position and make that decision, say, you know what, I can't have this guy stand with me.
So I think if that happened, man, it's crazy because I'm just saying what comes to me.
Yeah.
Um, if the man,
Uh
so
huh.
let's in this situation, it's my daughters and their husband,
Uh huh.
right? And they fall on hard times, and he comes to me and 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 says whatever, and I said, well, look, I take my daughters and I'll take the kids, but you got to fend for yourself. If I said that, as a man, I would have to respect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I never wanted my family to be in this place. So even if it means they got a roof over their head and they
Mhm.
got somewhere to stay, they warm or they cool, and I got to sleep in the car until I can build up enough money. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
respect.
what I would do as a man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Long my family okay. But
long as they okay, and because I don't want to be in this situation anyway.
right.
So I'm gonna humble myself. I'm not what I'm gonna do. Jump up, scream like, "Oh, you can't believe you don't even take all of us in." You know what I mean? I don't deserve. It's like, if that's how you feel, and I'm coming to you, man
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
woman and
Yeah.
man or man to woman, however it is,
Uh
man to
huh.
man. Like, if that's your take on it, and I'm telling you straight up what happened and what's
Yeah.
going on. If that's your take, I gotta live with that.
That's a sense of entitlement anyway. Already, though, you had that type of attitude where
Right.
you feel that. But I think it go back to what we were saying earlier about giving and taking because it depends on the track record too. So if you're a guy who borrowed my trucks, my cars, over a period of time, you have a job 1 month, the next month you don't. I mean, you're constantly in my pocket, and I gotta write checks to help cover this and all that. Well, once it gets to a certain point, I'm looking at you a little different anyway.
Right.
Now, if you've been solid and you hit hard times, then hey, you family.
Right.
Come on, get yourself back together. But I think it's what you kind of showed me along the way, because if you was a taker the whole time, and you know what I mean,
You get unlimited get yourself back together time. Is it unlimited?
nah,
Was it
it's not.
like
Nah, it's not.
Verizon now, man?
Nah,
Unlimited
you got
minutes, man.
me personally. I don't. The timeline shouldn't necessarily have to be given, because as a man, I'm
I'm
walking
on the
on
clock.
eggshells.
Yeah.
It's like, man, listen, if I can make it happen by next week, I'm up out your house. I don't want my family.
Yeah, but what if a joker, man? You getting up to go to work, day in the bed, you come home from work. What we doing there?
Come home, man, and his homeboys in the house chilling.
Nah,
Good. Boy,
nah,
that cut deep.
nah.
It happens though.
That's crazy.
It happens, man. And then you sending the woman out to find resources and all. That's like, nah, every morning you should be out.
Man, nah,
beating
you see that?
pavement.
Nah. That type of thing, you see that coming. You see that coming. It's some traces along the way before we get there.
But it's certain fields that jokers are in where when it's good.
Hmm.
And I ain't necessarily talking about legal fields, but if you meet somebody and they up,
Hmm.
and then things take a turn, then hey, it can change just like that. You might not see it, because man, when you up, you up.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it could go in a number of different ways, but like really, honestly, that first scenario where we're gonna sit down and have a conversation, we're gonna see what the plan is. I mean, that would be the approach if it was my daughter's coming to me or if it was my son coming to me.
Yeah.
Same thing as if they went out, they moved out, they tried, try to live on their own, maybe mismanaged money and lost their apartment or something like that, and needed to come home. It's like, okay, well, yeah, but this ain't no unlimited stay.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We
Yeah.
got to have some kind of time structure in place. As much as I love having my kids, now this is after they leave.
Yeah.
Um,
Once they're established, because
right,
they can stay long as they want, but
right,
when you step out and you're established, that means okay, you're ready for
for that.
that. Yeah.
And I want you, I as a parent want you to get to that place where it's like, okay, I can do this thing on my own now. Because that means that we have done our job to providing you with the tools that make you feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
You have the job, you have the resources, you have the income and the mindset to say, okay, I can face this thing on my own. I don't need that backdrop. It's there, if you needed it, but you got it.
So how would you feel if your daughter came home and she had met a guy, and they're getting serious, they've been dating, and they're talking about possibly moving in together and things of that nature, but he's always lived home with his mom, and he's still living home with his mom at an age where, and I don't know if there's an age limit to that, but at an age where most men would be out the nest, and he's always been home with mom. Would you caution her on that, or would you?
I would ask her a lot of questions that would make her think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like is he does he help his parents out with the bills?
Mm.
Does he pay his own car note? Does he have a car? Does he pay his own insurance? Does he have any credit cards? Does he can he go? Can he travel? Does he have a passport?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and he don't have to have a passport. Does he travel? Does he want to go out and do things?
Right.
Can he do that on his own? If y'all are doing that, do you have to contribute to him being able to do that?
Mm.
Because all of these are things that let me know if he can take care of you or not.
Right.
Right? If he can't take care of you and he home with his parents, he can't take care of you when y'all together in a house.
Right. Yeah.
It just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna ask a lot of qualifying questions and I'm gonna let you find out the answers because I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you have to be real skillful and tactful when you ask those questions, though, because man, love is blind, man. Once somebody, once you know, what I
You
mean,
right?
they're gonna defend them. I mean, I'm not saying your daughter, but I'm
No,
saying in
no, they will.
most
Yeah,
cases they're gonna, oh, he's a good guy now. He's there helping his mom. I've seen it so many times.
or the guy's so good with running game
Yeah,
that boy. I mean,
yeah,
hey, that
yeah.
red pool table is blue,
And make
and
you believe
yeah,
it.
make you believe it.
Yeah,
You
that's a
can't see
funny.
that 10 on
Yeah,
that.
it's some bad jokers out there.
Yeah, it is, man. So like again, I'm just the type of one. I'm gonna ask a lot because of that. So I'm gonna ask questions because if you got to think about it and you got to come up with the answer, it's not me telling you what I think the answer is.
Uh huh.
So at that point in time, the decision that you made ain't because I said live with him or don't live with him.
Right.
It's because I asked you questions, you found the answers, and you made the decision.
Right. Got your wheels turning, thinking like, nah, I ain't nothing think about it like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's a game for you. Yeah. Some game for you. So what you got about real estate up there? We got Airbnbs for your personal home. Yeah, that's interesting. Um, I know me personally, I wouldn't want no Airbnb in my personal home, but it is a form of like house hacking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like just say you got a like we don't live that far from the beach.
Mm-hmm.
We 35, 45 minutes from the beach, but let's just say we moved 15 miles over and we stayed in Northbrook, right?
Uh
And I had a nice house, and I'm single. I'll be honest with you. I say I wouldn't, but I would do this. Like a lot of those communities have houses with basements.
huh. Right.
I'd finish off the basement like a studio
Uh
apartment,
huh.
and I would Airbnb the first floor to families, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, Airbnb, you might get $2,000 a week.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for the Airbnb,
Yeah.
your mortgage might be $2,000 a month. You already qualify for it. So if you get in the summertime, if you can rent that joint out for 3 weeks out of a
Oh
month,
yeah. Pay
for
your whole year's worth of mortgage.
yeah, yeah. So like in that aspect of it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if it was my family, no, I can't see me doing that. If it's just me dolo, or even if maybe it was, uh, you know, I just got married or we dating and we staying together,
Uh huh.
like I would do something like that. But once we start trying to build a family, I wouldn't feel comfortable, having somebody that close proximity to all the people that I love,
Yeah.
and not knowing who they are.
But what about? Because I know a lot of people. They're like snowbirds. Maybe in the winter they're
Mhm,
here.
mhm.
Maybe in the. So let's say if you had another home down in Florida, but wintertime.
Like near Orlando or something like
Yeah,
that.
in
Yeah,
the wintertime you're in Florida. You're home here.
yeah,
Would
I
that
would.
be you would rent it out
Yeah,
while you was gone?
yeah. I would do that. I would do that because that's no different than like a seasonal rental. Um, it is, man. Airbnbs can be tricky because it's a lot of people that get Airbnbs like just to have parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes the trade off is not worth the money that you're getting
Mhm.
because like if you got to keep replacing stuff because people only rent it for a day or two, like I don't think in some instances for most people that's not going to be worth it. But if they got to book a minimum of 5 days
Uh
in
huh.
order to even get the place, I think then that's where it becomes beneficial to that snowbird to where okay, like even if you're only going to stay a night or two,
Uh huh.
you still got to book it for 5 days. The
Right.
type of person that's going to do that is probably not going to trash your house.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Because like they want the convenience and they want maybe the seclusion, or
Right.
maybe they got a couple of different family members that's coming with them. It's a whole different type of demographic that's going to
Right,
do
right.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like as far as that goes, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just got to be in the right markets, right locations, in order to make it be beneficial because you want it to be somewhere where people are attracted to because
Uh-huh.
it's gonna get you a higher rate. You know, so if you're close to the beaches or you next or close to a metropolitan area or you close to somewhere where there's theme or amusement parks,
Right. Oh yeah,
you,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like all of those things. If you
Mm-hmm.
somewhere to resort towns,
Yeah.
Miami, Myrtle Beach, all of
Mm-hmm.
those things, that's beneficial for sure,
Okay.
for sure, for sure.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good way to think outside the box, man, as far as generating income, man.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, like I said, if you're just a single, I mean, you're just a single person. I mean, nothing stops you from, even if you got a house where you might have an in-law suite,
hmm
you might stay in the in-law suite, Airbnb out the rest of the house.
yeah,
That's something that you can do, and then just have a plan for that money.
that's it.
How you gonna rather reinvest it or put it into some stocks, mutual funds, something like that. But I mean, you want to keep building.
Right. Oh
So
yeah.
you
Oh
don't
yeah.
want to get ahead.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Great
for sure.
information. Great
For sure.
information.
So man, I think that's all we had. You got anything else, man?
Nah, man. I'm trying to get flown out, man. That's all I do.
Trying to get
Go flow somebody out. Yeah, yeah. Okay, go flow. Tell wifey pack her bags.
back or
Man.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she already know the assignment.
yeah. Yeah, don't now. It could be times where I mean the assignment's on do not disturb.
Man, had that headache at home, man. We get down, get on that plane, boy.
Hey man, sometimes Mother Nature might be involved.
Ah, man,
You
yeah.
know. In that scenario, man, that might be what it was. You might be like, look, I can't do nothing.
Yeah, but I think you can voice that opinion, though. You can kind of voice that. You can kind of tell somebody that this is what's going on. You know what I mean?
Well, we're gonna leave this one alone.
Yeah, I guess some jokers, boy, my red lights and everything, man. Don't. some,
They don't care.
yeah,
Red,
yeah,
yellow, green, they all mean the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, I feel you on that one. So, well, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us, man. As always, again, like, comment, share. We appreciate y'all coming on this ride with us. We appreciate y'all tuning in, watching these videos. And we just hoping that along the line, somebody find this content, see that it's something a little bit different, get
No
some
doubt.
guidance and some insight from the conversations that we have, and be able to apply it to their life.
That's it.
That's it.
We here for y'all, man. Talk to us, man.
Hey, tap
All
in.
right, tap in. Peace.
Peace.
I'm gonna get this table back too.